My boyfriend asked for a threesome. I agreed at first because I was kind of into the idea and wanted to experiment. I had never been with anyone but him. And after some time, he told me that he had a friend who also was into that stuff. I need a therapist that looks like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like me.
What, you didn't have that? Why didn't you get that? So, last night, I saved the cat's life.
I was going to say why, but I'm aware that I'm a cat mum. So go on.
So basically, I'm in bed, right? I was exhausted yesterday. I got into bed at like 9 o'clock. I said, well, obviously with my laptop, but like still in bed. And then it was probably like 11. Sorry, on a very separate note, how much? So there's questions that obviously we don't ask, we don't know because we don't ask other people. But I just want to know how other people live. Like, how often does the average woman self-pleasure, number one? And how often do people watch porn? Do the self-pleasure and porn normally go together, or?
No, that's you can use your imagination.
So just you close your eyes?
You just think of a scenario in your head, not necessarily close your eyes.
So are your eyes
on the lookout whilst you're doing it? You can't close your eyes. That's too vulnerable.
So your
eyes are open. You can't close your eyes.
So your eyes are open and you're daydreaming?
Yeah.
And not being stimulated. How does distractions work?
Because sometimes it's just long finding the right video. And also with this whole verification thing, like, do you have time? Do you have time?
Okay, so as a babe that takes self-pleasure quite seriously.
Yeah. So you have a problem? Go
on. I will make time to find the right video for me. As you know, I'm very specific about what entertains me and what scares me on the realms of the internet.
I mean, there's a lot to be scared of.
Words. There is a lot to be scared of. And again, a lot of it can look male gazy, of which, I fight against.
They're all male gazy. I find that the female friendly category, sorry guys, Monster did not sponsor us, but they're keeping me alive.
We're tired, as per. To be fair, I'm not that tired today, but it's because I've gone through a can.
Yeah, with the female friendly ones, I feel like they're too friendly. It's like, oh, you're so pretty. Should we go for like a smoothie? And it's like, shut up. Like, we know this is porn. Why are you acting up a storyline?
But this is what this is the problem though. I want you to take me on a journey. Like, it's just like it's akin to a guy just coming across to you like, yo, babes, what are you saying? Like no. Ask me about what I'm into. Ask me about my interests. Ask me about my style, my fashion, my perception of the world. Like, I want you to know my brain before we get to it. You know?
I see why you listen to audio, Chaka.
Anyway.
By the time you film that whole scene, the SD card is full.
I just want you... Yeah. So I'm someone with my body. I need patience, and it's got to be it's a slow burner, but it'll burn eventually. It's a slow burner.
So you want the porn stars to make you feel safe?
Word. I need this to be a safe space.
Okay.
But I was thinking about this because I actually do need to know, like, because I'm like a couple times a week girl.
Mm. But
like, I want to know what is the average for most, particularly people that live alone in their 30s. Like, what?
If you live alone in your 30s, they expect you to do it every other day.
I was thinking that.
Or like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's like,
right.
Are you gonna go on Reddit?
No, baby. I'm going to go to my bestie.
ChatGPT won't know that.
She will.
She won't.
How many times?
She's drawing it from the same Reddit forum that you could have gone on.
If you mean people in their 30s, the average is roughly 1 to 3 times a week, but it varies massively. A few useful reference points. In a large US study, 35.9% of men and 8.8% of women. Okay, that don't sound right to me. 8.8% of women reported masturbating at least once a week in the past year. UK NatSol data found that among adults aged 16 to 44, about 3 in 4 men and 4 in 10 women had masturbated in the past month. I need the women to stand up. I need the women to come
They're
forward.
lying, man. You know we got shame.
Like,
They're lying.
we're lying. 4 in 10 women.
They're lying. But some women do struggle with like, because it's seen as a taboo. Like with guys, they can get away with like, oh yeah, wanking. Like it's normalized from a very young age. But like, I feel like there's still some women still, how do I say, carry some shame around like masturbating and stuff.
Do you know that the problem I have with this is because a lot of the times the men aren't making the men aren't bringing you to the complete satisfaction anyway.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So if you're not getting it
But
from yourself,
a lot of women, but they don't know that because a lot of women are still faking it.
yes, true.
So we're just out here lying and depriving ourselves. So let me ask you, what is the point of life then? What are we doing here? Why are we doing all
Why
this?
are we doing this?
But they're defo lying. But some women don't actually. They think it's like, oh no.
But I
Like,
know
there's some
that.
grown women in their 30s that still they don't own a sex toy or anything.
Well, neither do I, to be fair. It's interestingly enough.
Oh,
Yeah. I haven't verged that far in.
that's
Unfortunate. It's what you mean.
that's sad. Sorry. That's
Yeah,
sad.
I think I've bought one. I have
Oh, you don't use it?
no, like I bought one previously. I don't have it anymore. Oh, I did get one. It was like it's not the rose,
Don't get the rose, man. That thing's a waste of time. It's too complicated. We ain't got time to be figuring that shit out.
but it was similar to the rose, but it was very expensive. It was like £100 and something pound.
Yeah. Get a bullet.
Maybe.
That was my starter. Changed my life.
I've tried one of those dick ring vibrator things,
Yeah.
but I don't think that did much.
It won't do nothing for you.
Why? It's for the man.
It's for the man.
Makes sense.
But yeah, get a bullet for man. That was my very first sex toy. I was like 21.
Try that.
It was pink. Wore that bitch down. To the point the coating came off. It was white.
Also, my first kind of thing I bought was like the weighted, they had the golden yoni balls from Ann Summers.
Is that a sex toy?
Well, it's not really.
Is it the Kegel exercise things?
Yeah,
God.
but like they're weighted and they're individual ones, so you really have
to make your pussy tight?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
To work on my pelvic floor, but also I remember I was walking around Westfield with them and stuff, and these bitches started dropping out of me. I screamed.
Okay, we'll wait the film of our pussy. Yeah, get a bullet.
Okay, I might do that.
Trust me, it saves you so much time.
It would do, because right now it's just imagination
just
and
get
finger.
quicker.
Anyway, 4.10. A Swiss study of women aged 18 to 56, grown women, found an average about 9 times a month, which works out roughly to 2 times per week. Some summaries of older survey data suggest many men fall around a few times a month to 2 to 3 times a week, with a smaller group doing it 4+ times a week.
The people that need help. The people that need help.
This is so wrong. So simple answer would be women in their 30s, often around 0 to 2 times a week, and some more.
That is a lot. Well, if they have kids.
Okay,
and a
fair.
stressful job.
Fair.
And a husband.
Right, let me say something. I am a firm believer in the stress nut.
Yeah, loads of course. But if you have
Kids.
a husband and kids and a stressful job, where you time to where? Oh my! Because the moment you hit the bed, if you try and do it by yourself, your husband's gonna think that you're calling him to get involved, but you're not. You just need a quick nut. So it's either you wait until everyone's out.
No, but sometimes what I will say depends how sly and deceiving you are. Because sometimes it's like you have to wait till they're snoring, and then it's like what can you get away with?
The moment he gets that whiff of pum.
No, it's true, and because you might hear, and then you're like you freeze.
You're trying to be sexy and no, I'm trying to go away. Don't even try it with the bed.
It's I'm like I free, I plank.
Yeah, please. I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even bother. The moment
See, that's why finger works though, because
nah, man.
you're not hearing
My hand
that.
get tired.
Yeah.
That's why I even got it. I started to feel strain in my hand.
No, I was getting carpal
I
tunnel.
was getting strained. No, seriously, I was. And it's hard. It's hard. I had to get the toy, but my hand is like starting to get
And
strained
you,
in my
because
hand.
true, we have acrylic, so it's like
Yeah,
you're
no, I can't, man.
not trying to.
Not trying to hurt the thing, please.
Damn.
Bullet. I guess if you do it more than like 2 to 3 times a week, you run risk of your clit getting sensitive, and if that gets sensitive, then we're fucked. Because look, let's
You
be
mean
real now. 90% of us are
desensitized?
not feeling anything inside there.
What do you mean desensitized?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What did I say before?
sensitive.
Mm.
If it's sensitive, obviously it'd be you'd come more. So,
No. Desensitized.
yeah.
That's the risk of using
Now
toys,
this is,
though,
and I
'cause-
think this is the reason why some people feel taboo about doing it, because I think there is, like, I know I once got, well, I've been told all my life that by my older family members that it's not good to self pleasure because your man will never be able to satisfy you.
But what?
Girl.
Don't keep my mouth shut.
Because then the
Don't
question
keep my
is,
mouth shut.
what pleasure were you getting?
What? Because how many? I know. Okay. We know I've got a long cervix. I've spoken about this before. My G spot is way back there. Like, it's way back. It's way back. It's back. Like, it's there enough in my spine.
Hook and round.
It's in my spine. The G spot is far. So my question is,
Yeah.
what is the point?
I just feel like a lot of women, especially previous generations, weren't getting clitoral stimulation, and it was the intimacy they were receiving it was the intimacy that they were receiving from their partner that was able to sustain them enough. We need more.
I don't think so, you know.
Why else would you stay? Well, love.
Patriarchy and love.
Yeah, I was gonna
It's
say.
the reason why everyone's fake moaning. It's just patriarchy and love. Sex is supposed to happen to us.
That's crazy. That's insane. Like, I'm so grateful that I found like the outlets of understanding sexual health in the way that I have, because I was able to expand my understanding, and my understanding was so limited for what we grew up in and around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, prior to me sourcing like books about, you know me, I love a book about sex, and I love a podcast about sexual health and well-being. Sexual well-being, top tier. Sexual well-being, because the amount of things you can find that, like, I think as women, when we don't talk about, we think we've got a problem,
Yeah.
and actually it's so much more common, but no one's talking about it. I feel like finally hearing like varieties of stories about sexual well-being allowed me to be like, swear down, you lot, do you know?
Yeah,
do you know?
That's like the whole squirting thing. And a lot of women on the Chris Brown board, where I learned about sex, used to be like concerned about the fact that they don't squirt. And like, you know, not everyone squirts. Like, it's not a thing. Like, you're not supposed to like just squirt out of nowhere. Like, one touch and you're just everywhere. And I was like, you fixate on that because you think it's part of the performance for the man. It's like, it's not as common as you think. Not everyone squirts.
And also, because I believe so many people's understanding of sex came from porn.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, if you rubs my clit for a minute, I'm gonna squirt everywhere. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, word. It actually doesn't. And also, it can take time. Like, I had to come to understanding that my body works a particular way,
Oh yeah.
and not judge myself for it, because
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, it's not happening yet. Okay. How's your week?
Yeah, my week. I feel like, okay, I've been suffering from like a 3-day hangover.
Okay.
I went to Brighton for a music festival called The Great Escape. And it's just like where like independent artists and music execs go to like discover new talent, I guess. Anyway, usually at night, like during the like, I'll say probably like from 9 p.m. onwards, when a lot of the industry shows finish, a lot of the music execs, especially the young ones, like to go out and explore the town of Brighton. The thing is, Brighton's like Camden on steroids at night. It's
It
actually not
is.
nice.
It is. We wanted to get inside last time we went.
Hella
Yeah.
homeless people, hella fights. But like I tried to like have a good time and have some fun on the Friday, which ended up being me going to Popeyes and coming back to bed. But prior to that, we had our like showcase event, and the drinks were flowing, open bar, and I struck a deal with one of the bartenders to give me Ray and Neffy, which was not on the menu, and lemonade. I thought I was fine. I woke up in the morning, I felt like a prune. I literally gasped, and I had to drive back home at like
Did you
6 a.m.
electrolyte before you went to sleep?
No, I didn't, girl. Please.
That's the.
I did not carry electrolytes with me to Brighton.
Why not?
Why would I?
I carried electrolytes to Malta.
Well, that's you. I'm not doing that. I've already got enough shit to carry. So yeah, now I feel like it's what? When does this come out? Thursday. Production cutting down. It's Monday, and I'm still my head. I can't, and I never will. It's come to a point where I'm actually giving up alcohol because I can't. I'm giving up alcohol until the end of the year because I can't see the benefits. I don't know what the benefit is. What is the benefit?
You felt nice in a moment.
I don't care. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
The fact is, the thing is, when it's a 3-day type of situation, you do want to like, what was it for?
I don't even drink like that. I'm pretty sure that night I only had like 3-4 drinks over the span of like 7 hours because that's how long the event was. But like, oh, I felt it, man. No alcohol for me, please. It's not agreeing. Like, I feel hungover. What is my win of the week? Oh, my win of the week though, on a separate note, is that I'm making progress with my assisted pull-ups. Yes, assisted. Please. Assisted pull-ups. I've lowered the weight, and my bodybuilder friend at the gym, who I avoid because I'm so scared that he's gonna try and train me.
That'd be fun.
Not with him. I've seen what he does with his clients. No, thank you. But yeah, he complimented me. He was like, "Well done, girl. You're making progress." So yeah, I feel strong. But yeah, that's about what else has been happening. I burnt my ass.
You burnt your arm.
I sat on 2 straighteners.
One on each side.
No, both on the same chair.
Oh.
So yeah, I would like to see how that looks tomorrow. But apart from that, that's been good. Bathroom's almost done.
Fun.
Very far from what I initially picked, but it kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's I'm all right. I'm okay, guys. You know, I'm as good as I can be. You know, apart from people posting shit that I want on TikTok. What about you? How was your week?
My win of the week, actually, I can't remember the L, but my win of the week for now. Well, no, my win of the week in general. I have had the best therapy session. The best therapy session. Actually, yeah. So I'll go back on to my L to come back to my win. Does that make sense? It doesn't, but it'll make sense.
But you just speak.
So basically, I had a wholesome therapy session, like where I expansively went across like 3 points of trauma, or not even trauma, but coping mechanisms that I have, right? And it's because I've started doing a thing where when I meet or greet a situation that I find concerning about myself and my thought processes, I will note it down as being something that I should talk to my therapist about. Because I never used to do that. I'd just show up on the day and whatever I felt that week would just be whatever comes to mind first is what I'll talk about. But I started to realize as we know, I'm very emotional. So I go through so many fleeting emotions in a day that actually it's hard to be able to target and work on things long term, because every week there's a new thing. There's a new thing that triggers me. But I decided I was going to come to my therapist with 2 things. And turns out that those 2 things were related, which I didn't know, essentially. But one of those things, obviously, I stayed at my mum's house again. And I was almost going to message you actually that day, because I realized that, bless her, but being at my mum's house is challenging and triggering at the same time. So it challenges you as in you know, sometimes you go to the gym and you do an exercise and you never really have to use that exercise outside of the gym until you have to use that movement and you're like, oh my God, I can carry this thing, or because I've actually, I can now see the purpose of me doing it. That's what it feels like sometimes being around older family members, because it's like, I realize there's certain things in my life that I'm trying to work against. So obviously I'm a panicker by nature, and I realize that's because in my home growing up, everything was a thing. Everything was a but also my parents could be like that, and that's their problem. Me being like that means I've got a completely different character to my parents, so it's elevated by my character in ways that it wouldn't have been elevated with them. I'm sure it had its consequences for them, but definitely I know the consequences it has for me, right? So I'm like, pardon me, this does not suit the person I'm trying to be and the things I want to do. So being so like stressed and everything is a thing, and being so permissiony, like feeling like you don't have agency, does not work for where I need to go. And my parents, it could have worked for where they need to go. It might not have even been a problem, because they might not have come across the circumstances that will challenge that. But I regularly will. Do you get me? So I was like at my mum's, and I was like, I noticed how every little thing was a complaint. Like, she found a way to complain about packing bags to go on holiday, even though she's gone on holiday twice in a month. It's like, girl, it's not a complaint. Or like, if something nice happens to me, she was like, well, why does that happen? Like, there's always a,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, so whatever your little coping mechanism is, I'm not trying to make it mine. Like, that doesn't benefit me. The things I want for my life are vastly different from the things that you wanted for your life. And actually, that mentality will hinder me where I'm going. So I need to fight against that. But what happens is, every time you're around them, they trigger that again. Do you get what I mean? And so I remember seeing, I don't know if you told me about this as well, but I saw, it's even, no, I didn't see it, but someone told me that there was a post about how, or maybe I saw it, I don't know, about how children, as in grown-ass children, tend to be easily triggered by their parents and have a shorter temper, not a shorter temper is harsh, but shorter tolerance for their parents' stuff, because it triggers the child that felt like they didn't have control. Do you get what I mean? And so when you're an adult and you have control, you're like, why am I still dealing with this? Like, it takes you straight back to how you felt as a child very quickly. So anyway, spoke to my therapist, and it was all the, like, I realized all these things in abundance that a lot of time I'm challenging. I'm basically, the word she used is decoupling from your parent. So there's this concept that your parent forms you in the image of them, right? And you form yourself in the image because that's all you know. And then obviously when you get to a certain point, you realize that your values are not the same, because you're not the same person in the trajectory of your life. You don't want to make the same decisions that they've made, because obviously we should learn from our parents' mistakes. So there's this actual thing that for a lot of adults, where we decouple from the values of our parents. And sometimes that can come with a back and forth, because your parents view you as a form of them. And so when you are now turning away, not to say she's actively done that, my mom's not actively done that, but you can see the disparity. You can feel the change when now you're like, actually, I want this for myself. So I have to pull away from all this bad behavior. And I've also got to be able to recognize it and overcome it at the same time. Like, it's got to be an instinctive thing before you allow the thought process or the thought pattern that you're so used to take hold. So yeah, it was a very, now normally when I talk about my therapy, I'm like, oh, I'm just the therapy, but this was so fulfilling in regards to seeing where the problem lies, seeing how this thing relates to this thing, relates to this thing, and also kind of asking beforehand, I would like a process of which to work on this and take my practice the thing that's going to get me out of this. Does that make sense? So yeah.
That was a ride. But good, I guess.
How's your therapy going? Okay then.
I need one that's like within our time zone.
What, was she American?
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm not doing therapy at 8.
PM?
I don't want to speak to you at 8. I don't want to speak to anyone at 8. But I will book her again. I think it's a shame because I skipped the last one and I ghosted her. But I'll be back. I just need to. Sorry, we're not sponsored by Monster.
We look like where we come from, by the way.
Sorry, I just need to find time to actually have time to actually get that emotional and deep. I just don't have it right now.
Yeah, it does. And that's one of my frustrations. I don't think I was having time, or I know I don't have time to do the work outside of the therapy. I've said this on the pod. I was like, I feel like I need to cater time to do the homework of what it takes or what I'm trying to work on. And it is exactly that. I do need to take out the time to do the homework. Because there's certain times you can find the skills hinder you in your life altogether.
True. I'm not even gonna say I don't have the capacity to be learning any new shit right now.
I'm gonna say also for you, it would be so much unwrapping.
Yeah, and I just don't have time to be unwrapped. So just leave me wrapped and let me go about my business. I actually don't have time to unwrap right now. You've got 45 minutes and I have a meeting straight after this, sis. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I need to find time, but I think I need someone in this time. So don't get me wrong, she was a good therapist, but it's just
Yeah, that's hard.
the US time zone. I don't want to be talking to anyone at 8 p.m. I promise you, I don't. Please.
And also, I feel like I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but like for me, I needed an hour after to try and decompress.
Yeah, and also, okay, this is gonna sound.
Go
It's
on.
gonna sound a bit. I need a therapist that looks like me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like me.
What, you didn't have that? Why didn't you get that?
No, she's black. Ish. Well, she's black, but she's mixed.
Oh.
And I just feel like I need someone that looks like me so they can understand the nuances of life. Because how one is like, you work too hard and like, you're being too hard and sort of this. Actually, no, life makes you like that because unfortunately, I'm not just handed opportunities. I have to prove myself.
Do you not think she also would know that?
To a certain extent, now. Again, nuances. It's the same way people are like, oh, Emma Greed is forgetting the nuances of life. Because of course you'll be the face of girl boss in this day and age because you're palatable to both the white and black community. That you're married to a rich guy. Like there's certain factors that will make it easier for you. And I still think she's a grafter. She's definitely a hard worker, etc. But I can't say that if I was in that same situation, it would happen for me.
Yeah. I get that, but my question is, because I know not, like I'm very much aware not all therapists speak like that, and I'm being careful with my words because look like me. But do you, in the same way that I can recognize and talk on that when, and I barely do on here, but do you think that if that was a conversation, she wouldn't recognize it straight away?
She would, but there's a difference to observe it and actually be through it.
I understand that.
And actually go through it. I think
So
there's
you
a
want
difference between
someone to,
observing
yeah.
and actually going through it. Because one thing that I do know for a fact is that the reason why I work so hard is because I know opportunities won't be handed to me. I don't walk into rooms with people like, yeah, here you go. I have to prove myself. Do you get what I mean? I have
Do you not
to
think
work
she
for it.
would validate that though? Because she could easily say, "Well, actually, yeah, that is the way it is." Obviously, I would hope the phrasing would be
the way it is. How can she tell me when she doesn't go through it? But it's a fact of society. Like there's studies.
no.
of
But
it.
what I'm saying is, because I can tell you
Yeah.
go through that,
Yeah.
even though I don't go through it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
But-
So I know.
Yeah, but there's a difference between again observing and actually going through it because there's even like the smaller like stuff that people like again it's not complex, but I just need someone that's actually goes through it rather than someone who observes it because there's certain things that I can't explain, if that makes sense. The only way I can explain is that I can walk into a room and I know I'm not going to be handed opportunities. Everywhere I have been, I've had to prove myself And that's why I'm super aggressive when it comes to work or getting things done in the right way. Because I know I don't have the privilege of grace. People aren't going to automatically want to give me stuff, or I may not look like I fit in certain spaces, but I have to prove myself in order to solidify my position.
Do you think by having, because I agree that's important, by the way, but in regards to outcome, I was like, I'm thinking, do you think that she would be able to give you better advice on how to cope with it? Is that why you want to see it? Because there's being understood and being validated, which I think biracial people can do. But hearing it from a woman that's been through it also means that they will find a particular coping mechanism that I think I guess could validate you a bit better. Do you know what I mean?
And they'll understand my frustrations with it, because I'm also conscious that, again, so I'm speaking to this woman, and obviously she's biracial, I'm black, I'm dark skinned, I'm plus size, whatever. I will say certain things or have certain frustrations, and she may undermine that because she hasn't experienced it before. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You get what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm just very super conscious. I know where most of my shit comes from, and it's from the need of having to prove myself, because I've had to prove myself for so long. Like I have to, like I genuinely don't believe I have the privilege of resting or not working hard, because I don't have the privilege of being able to walk into a room and everyone just wants to know me or wants to give me opportunities, etc. Whereas I've seen it happen for other people, and I don't feel a way about that in terms of like towards the person that's getting the opportunity, because I know that's how society works. But I also know is that you're going to give me this opportunity and I'm going to take it, because I'm going to leave you with no choice but to give it to me, because I'm the best person in the room. And that's always how I've worked. I don't know any other way. So someone telling me, oh, just rest. I'm like, no, I get pissed off, because I'm like, no, because I can't relax like you. I don't have that privilege.
So I was gonna say sometimes, and this is like it's separate but it's linked to exactly what you said. But I was speaking to one of my bosses actually, and we were talking about things that teach us things along the way. And if you have a certain level of behavior that lands things for you, it's hard to then go back and not believe in that behavior because you've got proof that that behavior works. So someone telling you shouldn't do that, but you've seen the success that it brings. So it's like, okay, so what's the alternative? What does that alternative look like?
Because I'm not gonna lie, only the people that have told me to rest and take time and it's not that deep are people that don't look like me. So I never take it seriously. Whereas women that do look like me, like whether they've mentored me or whatever, they've all said the same thing. You gotta work your ass off, because these people are gonna go to this room and people are either gonna ignore you or they're gonna doubt you or they're gonna think why are you here? And you have to come in there and take everything.
So essentially you need a therapist who understands that nuance to be able to tell you, okay, this is what it looks like to calm down, but I understand your need to not calm down, but a way to reach the success you want to reach, but with giving yourself grace at the same time. And how is that possible? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But also understand where I'm coming from as well, because one thing I get frustrated with is when, how do I say, people are like, oh, you're always doing something, or like, oh, like you're always like working or doing that, and I'm like, you don't actually realize, you think I don't want to not have to work. I would love to not have to work as hard as I do, but the reality of the situation is like the times where I have like tried to relax and work like everybody else, someone's saying I'm slacking because they're so used to me working to a certain level. So I can't slow down. And the thing is, and also because I'm quite how do I say, growing up, I went through a lot of stuff by myself. I still have that mindset that I only have myself, and therefore I have to work because I have to sustain myself.
It's the idea that if you don't do it, you'll die, because
like no one else is gonna do it. Like no one's coming to save me, kind of thing. It's like I forget, like that I'm married or that I do have family, etc. But I'm just like, no one's coming to save me. I have to do this by myself, and because I've had that mindset, and that mindset has carried me. It's what carried me to like buy my first property by myself, like do so many things by myself and succeed. I just can't get into that mindset that I can now just relax and things will just happen for me, because it won't. It will not. That's not how society works. Like I'm not naive to the fact that maybe, especially in this, how do I say, in a world that's ruled by men, in a lot of times, sometimes it feels like if they don't want to fuck you, you're not getting away in.
Yeah.
And the way I've always navigated that is that I'm going to show you that I am better than you, therefore you need me,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Because one thing they speak in is money.
Yeah,
and-
one thing they
and
speak in is
success.
money, and one thing that has always gotten me through the door, especially even with like men like that, is that they know I'm a money maker. But what they forget is I'm going to take your money and make money for myself, not for you. I might make some money for you, but eventually I'll move on to make more money for myself. But that's one thing that especially men in these spaces have always told me, like, you're going to make a lot of money, or you are going to, like, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I have. I don't have the oh, like,
I want to date you, I want to fuck you, I want to...
or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Well,
get,
you
like,
do have that. Actually,
I do have that to a certain extent, but it's not like, let me be quite frank, it's not like the pretty light that comes into the room. Do you get what I mean? Where everyone is like, oh, who's that? Da, da, da. It's not that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that. Like, I don't get that privilege. I don't want that privilege, to be fair. But I
Yeah, because
understand.
you'd rather me respected than fancy.
Yeah, but I know what comes with that. I also know the downsides of that. Like,
being
there's
respected.
certain men that just think with their dicks, even in business.
You also wouldn't want to work with you.
I've worked with people like that, and I'll never work for a stupid man again. I've said it and I'll say it again. It's torture. I'll never work for a man that's smarter than. I will never work for anyone that's smarter than. I can't. You know when people say, "Oh, hire people that you're smarter that are smarter than you." It's torture for us. You're dumb, but like, it's just the way society works, especially in the industry that we work with. Unfortunately, a lot of silly men make it to the top. And a lot of them think with their dicks, even in business. But that's the reality of the situation, is that they'd rather hire them because they want someone they can look at or possibly try a thing with every day, rather than someone who's actually qualified. And that's fair enough, because I always say I will never do business or work with men like that, because from when you lack so much discipline that you're willing to jeoprize your business and money
That's crazy.
over a bum, over a skin tone, I have no business with you.
Word.
Because I know for a fact that a lot of the powerful people above these men, they may not be a baddie, but guess what? They hold the power. And that's the people I will go to. But I also understand that I've got to prove myself to get there. So for me, it's like, I find it very hard when someone that doesn't look like me is telling me, just relax. The world isn't as kind to me as it is to you. The doors don't open for me as easy as it will open for you. This is how it's worked for me. And I understand that I'm very privileged to be in my position.
I have a question though, and because this is a common thing I find with therapy. Is part of it because I think I've spoken to people who have had issues with therapy, and I've had this issue, but you heard me speak about this. But do you also think that comes from you feeling like you're smarter than your therapist? And I'm not saying you're wrong, because some people are smarter, literally will be smarter than their therapist.
No, because I think I have a big ego, but one thing about me, I'm always willing to learn. And if I'm wrong, I'd rather be corrected and learn the right way.
But what I'm saying is, okay,
I don't think I'm smarter than her. I just think she oversimplifies life.
Fine.
And I'm like, that's not how it works. Even down to like, okay, my dad having cancer, and I was telling her all the things. She's like, oh, so I'm assuming that your podcast stopped, right? Whilst you were doing that. I was like, well, no, I was still showing up to record because I still have to show up. And she was like, you still have to show up? And I was like, yeah, I still have to show up. I don't have the privilege of taking this. You want me to take a 6-week break? This is something that I'm building. So I'm going to have to find a way to do both. And she was
also,
like...
to be fair, my eyes opened wide because I understood the context of what a 6-week break means.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I think people outside wouldn't really get that.
Yeah, like it's... Yeah.
But you would be justified, by the way. But
I don't have the privilege of doing that because we're building this thing. I can't just take 6 weeks off. And like, she was like, you're doing a lot right now. It's like, but I have to, like, I still have to show up to work. I still have to show up to the podcast and show up in life as well. And it's just one of those moments where I have to show up in all areas of my life. And thank God during that time, I was a shit friend. I was probably a shit wife because I didn't have the time, the capacity to pay attention to everyone. But what's a non-negotiable for me right now in this period of my life is my work. Because the wheels need to keep turning. This is how I survive, and this is how I ensure a better future for myself. I can't put that down, because if I put it down again,
It's only putting you down. Like I get what you're saying. Yeah.
so that's my struggles with therapy. I think it's just finding some, but also it's very hard as well, because even with someone that looks like me, would they understand? I work in it's not a very niche career, but it's not an industry that's like any other industry. So how do I explain these things? Because as well as that, I feel like people get so fascinated by my career that it's like, oh well, it can't get any better than this. Is that actually no? There's this part to it. Do you get what I mean? And
Yeah.
this,
It's not glam. Like
yeah.
it can be, and it can look glam, but
How do I say it? I feel like my parents played a really big part in like the beginning stage of this feeling. My dad's super ambitious and like, you can do anything. Everyone, you're gonna be big, like you're a genius, whatever. And then I had the critical voice of my mum, like, you're not good enough, or why are you doing this, or da da da. So then I had like two people to prove points to. I need to prove my dad right and make him proud, but I also had to prove my mum wrong.
yeah. But remember, the whole point of being in your therapies in your 30s, well, 20s or 30s, or whenever you grow and you start to gain your own sense of identity, is unpicking the negative, understanding where it comes from, and knowing how to navigate without that negative voice being a thing.
Yeah, but then there's the issue is when the negative voice is society, because then you also have the combination of how society works. Because
Yeah, because that's a fact.
because
Okay, I
I
get what
was
you
very
mean.
ignorant when I was growing up about how black women were treated by the world.
Mm.
I was very ignorant. Remember, I grew up in like, I was watching fucking movies about like the apartheid, like all of that. Like, black power was very much like, you're powerful, you can overcome this. So when the first time, I would say, when I really deeped how black women are treated by society, will probably be in my teens. But by then it was so normalized, I thought that it will start and stop in school, or at least like after university. I didn't know that
Would
carry on
to the world, yeah.
into the corporate world. And when people used to tell me like, listen, there's a ceiling for black women, I remember someone telling me like, there's a ceiling for black women, and I was like, no, there's not. There's no ceiling. Who's gonna stop me? Like, me, I can outwork anyone. They will never fucking put a ceiling above me. And they were like, no, seriously, there's a ceiling there. And I used to be like, no, I'm gonna be different, because I'm gonna work my ass off. And I got into the corporate world, and then I realized how easy it is, because they start building that ceiling from when you're like in your junior role. Like, no, this is where you are. You won't be promoted. It's going to take you years. Like, I was told that it's going to take me 5 years to move from marketing assistant to marketing manager.
I remember you saying.
And like it's unheard of for anyone to get promoted before that. 2 years later, I was marketing manager. But like, they start planting that kind of mindset in your head from when you're a junior, so you never feel to aim high, because it's not going to be for me.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, you are eligible for this promotion, but then this white guy that came in, like, you know, who got an interview and see which one of you is actually the better one. Excuse me? By far the better one. But then what that taught me is that, well, I'm not begging you for a promotion. I'm just going to move and I'll get the role like that. And that's how I like managed to climb the career ladder quite quickly, because I was like, I'm never going to beg. My rules are, I'm never begging you for a promotion. If I see that you're not willing to promote me, I'm going to move.
Yeah, and that is what you do. That is what
And
you
that's
do.
why I do.
I've learned that very
I'm
well.
never begging. And funny enough, is when you're ready to move, that's not be like, hey, we've got this role for you. We've got this pay rise for you. But by then I don't want it, because when I was there, you didn't value me. But now that you're losing me.
You showed your nyash.
You showed your nyash, because you know this shit can't run without me. But yeah, that's where I'm at in therapy. Sorry guys. I had no jokes today. But that's where I'm at.
No, but I feel like I'm not gonna apologize for that, by the way, because I feel like these are conversations that people be having behind closed doors anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's actually very valid conversations for black women.
It's very valid conversations, especially during this time where like the girl boss era is very much back, and a lot of us are looking for women that reflect us, that we can look to for hope, but also guidance. And sometimes that's very difficult because, especially with showbiz, the face that they will pick has to fit certain
Standards,
categories or
yeah.
has to tick certain boxes.
Mm.
And sometimes that means that it may not be a accurate representation of what that journey would look like for me or someone that looks like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, that's never to discredit that person. But I know I can't look at a white woman and say, I started a business with £2,000 and I got funded of
Yeah.
1.5
So this is what you're saying about Emma Grede, because you're like, the situation is very
you're
different.
married to a rich man who's very successful in the e-commerce business. Remember, he was the founder of Frame Jeans. Good American was easy peasy squeezy.
Oh.
That's your business partner. He's also one of your business partners when it comes to Skims. It's Kim,
Oh, is it?
her husband, and Emma. But
Kim's
again,
husband?
it's sexier. No, as in Emma's husband.
Emma's husband, sorry.
But it's sexier to say it's Emma and Kim, or it's Emma that's building them behind it.
Also, they sold that as it's Kim's thing for time.
Yeah, and
before.
remember she had an agency prior to that, and she sold that, but she refuses to say how much she sold it for. But I know that agency, I'll say 3-4 years ago, was still running because they had a talent that was managing and they tried to sign her. But I know she probably got a pretty check from that.
Mm.
So you already had some sort of capital that will allow you to maneuver with a bit more confidence. You're pretty, you're slim, you're light skinned. Like there's so many things. So I'm like, I get, that's why I was like, as much as like, I'm like, you lot are being a bit too harsh on like Emma in terms of like, pick what applies to you. I also understand people's frustrations. It's like, okay, but when are we going to get someone that looks like us?
Mm.
Do you get what I mean? And it's like, you might not. You might have to really research and dig deep to find that person because they may not be on the front cover of Forbes. Or they may not be the ones doing all the press runs or doing, do you get what I mean?
Because they pick people that they think is marketable.
They are marketable. Do you get what I mean? Doesn't mean there's not amazing, successful, incredible black women out there. They just might not be on the cover of Forbes. And that's just the honest truth. Like, and I'm saying that someone who works in marketing, sometimes they just don't see them as marketable. And that's sad, but that's not to say that there isn't a black woman that can break barriers and become that person. And don't get me wrong, yeah, like I'm saying that marketable doesn't mean it can't happen. Again, we are delusional. I'm delusional to think that it'll be us.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I turn around, Stephanie will say something, and I'm like, but why not? And Stephanie's like, your whimsical fucking ass.
No, but it's true because, girl, I'm sorry, even when people were telling me about that glass ceiling, I never believed it. And it got me far because real shit. I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I'm gonna be. Everything I say is facts right now. I made director level at 27. If I had listened to that woman, my first line manager told me that it would take me 5 years to go from marketing manager, from assistant to marketing manager, I would have never got there. Also, in those 5 years that she was talking about, I made it to director.
There's also a thing about people talking from their own experience of their own lives with their own, like, it's just, that's a you thing. That's what you thought. And not you as in, that's what the person who told you that thought from her own experience. But you are two completely different people.
Yes, but one would argue that she has more privilege. And knowing her, she was probably looking at me like, you're not going to get very far from a working class background, not really connected in the scene. You're black. Like, when you've gone through stuff like that, how easy is it for you to hear someone say, it's okay, just relax, and actually feel like you can relax?
Again, what your lived reality is factually proof.
Factually proof, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that. So I get it. It's just so hard because I guess for you, and this is what I said to you about the stress levels, is like, we're trying to navigate life preventing a stroke. And so when people tell you these things, it's obviously an understanding of you, and also you understand your stress levels are insane. Do you get what I mean? So it's how and I don't obviously have a solution for it because I don't.
There is no solution. Like a lot of black women, that's why they suffer from like chronic diseases, inflammation, like cortisol is a massive issue for us because
high blood pressure
how high blood pressure, hypertension, because of how we have to navigate society. And that's why I'm like adamant that I need a therapist that looks like me, that understands the nuances, because it's easy for you to tell me to put down the sword when you're not the one at the front line. I know if I put down the sword, I don't have the privilege of someone being like, I'm gonna allow you. No.
Do you know what? In the realms of like where there is a will, there's a way. And I think like as I get older, I kind of start to be like, there must be a solution to a problem. Obviously, I don't know what that is yet, but there must be. Do you know what I mean?
There is, because this is how society works, and that's how it's worked for the longest time. And
Yeah.
we say you can't, I don't necessarily conform to society, but there's one thing that actually one of my other line managers, Paddy, told me, is like, play the game. And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what game? He was like, you're going to figure out, you're going to learn what the game is. And I learnt what the game is.
Can I ask you a question though? Are there any like dark skinned black women, people whose chill or the chill aura of them you admire? Or even, can you think of any? Full stop.
The ones that have the chill aura are the ones that works their asses off, and now
So
they can
this
be
is
chill.
my thing. So going on to that is, so I guess that would be the solution to get to a point where you can chill. Who would it be actually?
The best I can think of is Oprah, but she can chill because she's a literal billionaire. And even then, the shit she had to go through in showbiz, I'm not naive to the fact that it's not going to be easy for me. The good thing is that I've worked in it long enough that no one can bring any shit to me. There's not a game you can play with me right now that I won't spin you at. So, and that's all I have. Not all I have. Obviously, I'm smart, I'm hard working, etc. But I also spin.
Creative, talented, many things.
But I'll also spin you. So there's not a good.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Oscar. You see us now, Oscar.
He's like, come on, let's go. Oh my God, this is not in the mood today.
He said, I want to go. Let's be going.
Go home. Oscar.
See you later.
He's about to get in that backpack and he's like, we've got crime to fight. Get me in this rucksack and let's go. Okay, I ain't got time for this shit. But yeah, I think it's like Oprah. Basoma.
Who's Basoma?
So my mind's going back, so let me actually just Google her full name so I don't butcher this bitch. Actually, hold on. Basoma St. John, I believe her name is. Yeah, Basoma St. John, actually. And I used to be very obsessed with her when I was first starting in music and was growing up, because she was one of the first dark-skinned black, even West African. She's Ghanaian originally, like her parents are from Ghana, who I saw in the marketing, within the entertainment space or brand space, who was actually making a brand for herself. Like, she was known to be very good at her job. She had the accolades to back it up. It wasn't like, oh, she's a pretty face and we're just gonna add all the stuff together. She was like, she's dark skinned, West African features, like, and she talks her shit. And she gave me a lot of confidence. It came to a point where any interview she would show up on, I would listen. Anything. To a point I would search her name on like Apple Podcasts to see what interview she's done. I would listen to that. But even her, she speaks about it like, being dark skinned and a woman and loud about your shit and knowing your worth rubs people the wrong way. I rub people the wrong way all the time. Like, because I have this unwavering belief in myself. But the reason why I believe in myself and I'm confident about my abilities, because I work my ass off. Yeah. I'm not scared of hard work. I'm not scared of it at all. But like, sometimes it just feels like it's not enough. It's like, okay, yeah, you're going to work hard, so we'll just make you the workhorse and then we'll get someone else to be the face of it. It is disheartening in that time when you're the one doing the late nights, so doing all the marketing plans, whatever, and then it's like the person that they bring out, it's like, oh, this palatable light-skinned lady, here you go. And no one wants to hear the fucking thing about what you have to say. So it's like, you can't, again, this goes back to, have gone through all of that and have someone simply tell me, relax, it's fine, you're too hard on yourself, you don't have to work this hard. I think from this conversation we all can agree that I will benefit from therapy my issue has always been the particular my experience. But if you do relate or you kind of understand what I'm saying, feel free to comment as well.
Yeah, we
And
want to. It's a safe space.
yeah, I know it's quite a vulnerable episode, but I guess it's just how I've been feeling in terms of like therapy and opening up. And I know a lot of black women struggle to open up because we sometimes feel like our issues are imaginary, or it's like almost like, how to
People
explain.
are reductive about it.
The only way I can describe it is like you have a severe pain and you keep going to the GP and they keep gaslighting you and saying that you just need to take paracetamol or lose weight, but you know there's something wrong with you, and you keep going back and keep going back, and it comes to a point where you just can't be bothered anymore because you keep fighting and no one's listening to you. So you just accept and you manage and you take your pain medications at home, but you know there's something wrong with you, and eventually it will consume you and possibly kill you. But you've gone to the GP and no one wants to listen to you, so you just assume that it's a problem with you and you take your painkillers and just let life pass you. That's the only way I can describe it. But it is a thing, and we do have struggles. And yeah, I guess if anyone knows of any like black therapists or has had any positive experiences with black therapists, feel free to comment below. Not that she was bad, she was good, but I just,
You need what you need.
I can't deal with whimsical therapists. I can't.
Reddit Realness.
Yeah, Reddit Realness. Reddit Realness. I agreed to a three-way and I regret it. I don't even know why I'm writing this. I guess I just don't have anyone to talk to about this. My boyfriend asked for a threesome. I agreed at first because I was kinda into the idea and wanted to experiment. I had never sexually been with anyone but him. And after some time, he told me that he had a friend who also was into that stuff. They had known each other for years, and she had apparently told him that she was into that stuff. I felt a little awkward about it, but agreed. Now the rest of this may sound a little confusing, but while we were talking about this over the phone, he was texting her and hung up on me at one point to talk to her. But he lied about it. He said it was a guy friend when it was her. He told me it was her later and apologized for lying, but my trust was still broken. The girl ended up backing out of it since she felt like it would make their friendship weird since they've known each other since middle school, which was fine. We didn't have the conversation about it again. That was a month ago. Fast forward to now, we are on the phone together and they are texting, and I can hear his ringtone going off over and over again, and he's honest about it being her, but quickly tells me he has to call her to give her advice on something, and it all happened so fast. He dropped everything to call her. It was less than 10 seconds and he was gone on the phone with her. I feel so insecure. It doesn't help that she overall looks better than me. I don't even know why I'm writing this. I still don't know if I'm in the wrong, but every time I tell him how I feel about her, he feeds me the same bullshit. You're the only one I love. I don't believe it anymore. Now he's calling me again. I don't want to answer. I have nothing more to say. All I feel is hurt and hate myself. I'm sorry if this sucks and my writing is awful. It is. I just need to know that someone out there maybe is listening. Right, so it sounds like he likes her. I wanted to use this threesome as an opportunity to sleep with her without getting in trouble.
Get out.
First of all, can we start agreeing to threesomes when we know we're uncomfortable? I don't even know why we're putting ourselves in positions like that. So please, a man,
Get out.
in this
Get
economy,
out.
sis.
Yeah, one, you're feeling insecure and that relationship's not right for you because you can't be doing it. You definitely can't be asking for threesomes when you're insecure.
And also, you with your friend, your female friend.
Why the hell would you not want to fuck my man?
Why do you, first of all, don't, because I know if it, I feel like she was like the third wheel here. Like they had already arranged it. Like I'm gonna run it by my girlfriend and see if she'll be on it too.
Yeah. Also, yeah, running up to pick up the phone, that's the love of his life. He likes her.
I'll.
Stephanie, think about you being in that situation.
No, I know. I'm
And that
saying that she
urgency.
should dip because
That
I
urgency.
know-
Imagine the urgency he has
no,
to.
that threesome was definitely planned on their side. You are the third wheel. Like, girl, move. And also, please stop agreeing to threesomes when you know you're not comfortable with it. Not everything for a man. Would he have a threesome with another man for you?
And I always think it is a great idea when a man asks you for a threesome and you're open to it, dangle a threesome back in his face. Dangle.
Oh, all the time. Oh, back in the day, yo, you asked me for a threesome like with a guy, because yes, no, no, man, with a girl. So why do I have to be in the?
Word.
Why do I have to be in the gay position
Word.
and not you?
Word.
Why do I have to be comfortable,
Word.
but not you?
Because if we want a
So
threesome, both ways, it should be go
it should
both
be
ways.
both ways. But
Let's
if
have
you're
a time,
uncomfortable with
honey.
it, what makes you think I'm comfortable with it? If I can't ask you for a threesome with another guy, why do you think you can ask me for a threesome with another woman?
Tell me. I will advocate for dangling. If you want a threesome, yeah, possibly. Can I do it? Can I choose the man? Because also, did you choose the woman? Okay, I have a man in mind. Let's go. Let's go.
One thing I can't stand is that when like guys try and pressure girls into doing it when they're clearly uncomfortable. Clearly uncomfortable. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with threesomes. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. But don't agree to it if you're uncomfortable just to please your man. And stop pressuring your partners into having threesomes just to please you. There has to be, again, it's
Don't
the
you
whole
find
thing
it
of like
weird?
sex happening to you. Sex is not supposed to happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You are having sex with someone. Fuck back.
Fuck back.
Fuck back. Okay? Stop agreeing to things that you're comfortable with to please a man. You're supposed to enjoy the sex too. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. I don't care if it's anal or threesome, whatever. Even the anal shit. Hey, if that's what you're into, calm. But if you know you're not into it, please stop allowing guys or girls or whoever to pressure you into doing it. You're not comfortable. You don't like it. You're supposed to enjoy sex too. Again, fuck back. Sex is not supposed to happen to you. You are allowed to enjoy sex as a woman. You're also allowed to be uncomfortable with some shit. It's called preference. You have things that turn you on. You have things that turn you off. You don't need to. I know they talk about relationships are all about compromising, not to the point where you're uncomfortable, especially when it comes to sexual stuff. This is something that's supposed to be intimate between you and your partner. If there's things that are making you uncomfortable, you do not like, stop engaging with it just to please your partner. Because I guarantee if you try and flip the switch and do it on them, they'll tell you no.
Straight away.
Because one thing about men, they have boundaries. And they stand on them.
They stand on
it's
them.
us that will be flexing and bending. It's us that will be flexing and bending
for
to
no
please.
orgasm. For
no orgasm, you know, to be doing faking. Please. Like,
Get out.
I hate that kind of shit. Stop it.
Sex is supposed to be really enjoyable for you.
Why are you being coerced by your man?
And any situation. And also, like, a lot of us grew up with coercion. Damn, coercion being a thing. Being a thing that we experience regularly, which is really bad, to be fair. It's why
really
half
bad.
of us are walking around traumatized. But in any sense, if your sexual relationship, and that's not just the sexual behavior in bed, but the sexual relationship, your relationship to sex is creating your insecurities, get the fuck out.
Please.
Also, again, as I said, like, it's such a red flag that babe will message him and he's so excited. And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with being excited to hear back from somebody, but if that person's not your girlfriend, there's a problem. To be that excited for someone that's not your girlfriend, that man likes that girl a lot. Let's be ending. Let's have everyone in their way. Let everyone free everybody. Yeah, he's bringing it to his girlfriend because maybe she's dumb enough to not read through the lines and see that I fancy this babe and actually I want to be with her. The fuck you mean? You've asked the girl for a threesome and then you're now messaging, happy to have a happy, rush to call her.
Wrong. A lot of couples opt for people they don't know too well. Like, they have a distance away from the couple.
Of course, because
it makes it less awkward. The fact that this guy said, let's have a threesome. Also,
here's one I drew earlier.
I'm not, like, as someone who knows couples that have had threesomes, they usually opt for people they don't know like that. So that it's easier to kind of create that separation. Why are you going to do it with your close friend that you've known since middle school? Is everyone okay? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, gross.
Also, the moment you propose a threesome and you already have a girl in mind that you presented to me, I know what you are.
And also, does that mean you've already had the conversation with the girl?
Or you're fantasizing about it? Because now I'm just...
Why does the next girl know that you want to have sex with her before I know that you want to have sex with her? Let's be going. Let's wrap this shit up.
I'll bring you the biggest mandingo you've ever seen. Goliath. is who will be the
The
third Navajo.
giant, the 6 foot.
Yeah, he'll fuck us
hedge
both.
Sec.
He'll fuck us both.
The one that will trigger
Yeah,
your insecurities,
no.
I'll bring to your door. Please,
Yeah.
let's not.
Yeah, nah, girl. Please, like, I would say leave that situation alone. It's clearly making you uncomfortable. And it's, yeah,
Get out.
get out.
Adult Find of the Week.
My adult fan of the week this week is the Shiseido. Hold on.
No Japanese skincare?
Yeah, the Shiseido Expert Sun Protector Lotion SPF 50. I have been doing a lot of body skincare stuff because I am very prone to chest acne. So
Are you?
yeah,
Never knew that about you.
yeah, I'm prone to chest acne. So I started to get a flare up because I was using the cream that I was getting from my dad, basically, and he had very dry skin due to illness. So I would, in a rush, I'll just use his stuff. But then it's E45. It triggered some chest acne. So I had to get really serious about my body care regime when I had the capacity to. So I've been using a lot of salicylic acid creams, and serums, etc. And obviously with that you need some sun protection. So I used Claude to help me find one that isn't too greasy, so it doesn't trigger even more spots, but helps like protects me to the highest level possible. It suggested this, and honestly it's really nice. It's like moisturizing, but it's not too greasy. It smells wonderful, and a little goes a long way. So I highly recommend for anyone that uses like chemicals or acids or exfoliators in their lotions, etc., or tetranoing on their chest, neck, which I sometimes like to do. I like to drag down my products to my neck and my chest because of obviously acne. But yeah, that's my recommendation.
Mine's a repeat, but it's because I'm finding use for it again. I'm not drinking enough water, and the air up is helping me. And when I don't have the air up, I struggle. So yeah, it is literally the air up. It's helping my consumption of water. I don't know why I go through these phases. Being dehydrated is not cool.
I've been dehydrated. I'm dehydrated right now. I think it's when you're so busy as well, you just forget to drink water.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. But guys, this brings us to the end of this week's episode. I know it was a heavy one. Look at that little therapy session. But hopefully you got to learn a bit more about us, our thinking, and my traumas. And where all this comedy came from. But if you enjoyed this episode, and you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on everything that was discussed. Have you had a great experience with a black therapist or therapy in general? Haven't? Where was the point where you found out that actually this therapist isn't compatible for me? And what did you do after? Or even just the struggles of society, etc. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Same for if you're listening or watching on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else where you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give us a 5-star rating. Comment as well. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed. Have you had a positive experience with the therapist or a bad experience? Let us know your thoughts. We love to hear from you. You can find us on We Just Got Here Pod on Instagram. We Just Got Here Podcast on TikTok, and WJGH Podcast on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Steph Tia. Where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Tiani Roberts and all other socials at MSTIA Roberts.
And it's a wrap, guys. More jokes next week. But for now,
see you later.
Bye.
Bye.